Okay guys, welcome to today's video where we're going to be putting together this little guy right here. It's like a JTAG type programmer. It's just like an 8-pin clip programmer. This is the assembled state of it, so yes, that's a spoiler. But it's this DFRobot brand. I think that's how you say it. It's all one word, but it's DF and then robot. And I found it on Mouser. I was just looking at kind of JTAG programmers, trying to decide if there was one in my budget of something that I thought was worth buying, and saw this thing for less than $9 and was like, yeah, that's in my budget. I'm going to try it out. So it is actually a circuit board that you assemble, and it comes in this state. I think the intended way this is supposed to be used with the product is it goes like this. There's actually got a different header on here from default. It goes on the underside of what you're programming and kind of clips on there like that. And yeah, it uses pogo pins on there. So these are just little pogo pins. And so that's what we're going to assemble. We'll compare it to this guy here at the end, which is a SOIC 8 clip that's been ever so slightly modified. Just took a file in between there, so that way you can use it on this SOIC 8 footprint that actually bites in between the circuit board for programming, which I've used this on my last couple of projects. So my next project with a microcontroller, I'm going to use this. I don't have any circuit boards to actually test this out on, and I don't actually intend to use it with their product. I don't own anything else for this DFRobot or whatever you call it brand, but apparently they're pretty big on Mouser. Mouser carries like 1,000 different products from this company alone, but I just saw this one looking at programming clips on there and decided I was going to give it a shot. So let's get this thing assembled and then we'll discuss it a little bit. So the first step is to assemble this board, so we're gonna just take this apart. This will be scrap. In the instructions, it says to sand these, but it looks like they'll fit just fine without. So let's get the Omnivise out here. So I'll put it together this way. Alright, those look pretty square. I'm gonna fill it in a little bit more now. Alright, and we need to do this one next. Okay, so now we kind of got to do this mechanical side of this. It's going to be hard to capture this on camera, like get a good camera angle on it. It actually kind of sits on there like that. So, no, not on camera. So it sits on there like that, not in between. So that's something I would change if I designed that myself, where they in between. So that way, I don't know, I think it'd look better. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, I'm going to try to get this thing together on camera. So let's go for this. So the spring goes on first. Yeah, this long screw and the spring. All right, so next, this goes in there. So you kind of push down on the spring and line it up. The last thing on here is to put the sticker on, and then we assemble this. So let's put this guy on there. its little kind of bump pin. Alright, so there's that. And then the pogo pins go in. So they go, pogo pins go in with this side's facing down, this is up, so. So there's all our pogo pins in. Let's solder them down. We don't have complete wetting on some of these, so let's touch those up. Looks like this is the only other one. Okay, those are all looking good. Let's flip this over. And I'm gonna use this header instead of the ones that came with it, because of the way I like to use these things. All right, flip that back over. Yep, that is now all of that. That will screw in like that now, so we just got it sitting on top here. You also have these spacers here for different boards though, so that way if you needed it taller for some reason. So there we go, now we have our programming jig. Just put those 2 screws on top and that's it, it's done now. Okay, so now I have 2 different programming jigs. Now everyone would recognize this as just a regular SOIC8 clip. It is slightly modified. I had to sand in between here a little bit so that way it could close just a hair tighter, and that is for this footprint right here. It's called a SOIC8 Byte. So as you can see, there's these pads here and then here again. So that way then I can just take this SOIC8 clip and clip to the board and program it. It's a little bit tricky to get it lined up right. There are these holes that the ends of this are supposed, at the ends of this right here is supposed to line up on, because there's like the little plastic bits hanging out there. But mine are worn off on here. They won't line up on there. So it does slide around. I don't know if that is a fault of this from being one of the cheaper ones, or the footprint, or what. Don't know. I didn't actually design this footprint. I saw this on Hackaday and was like, oh, that's actually really cool, because then you don't have to buy an expensive programming jig, because most of the off-the-shelf tools that are like this are actually pretty expensive. They're like 70 bucks or so, which is why I didn't go for something like this originally. I started using this, and I've used this footprint on a couple of projects now, so here it is on this guy. You might recognize this as that VFD screen. This is a project that I want to show off on the channel, but I can't get this component, so there's no point in showing it off, because then people are going to want it once I show it off. And I can't get the microcontroller for it, so that's gonna wait until I can get parts. I thought I had a lead on some parts, and then that lead turned up to not be a good lead. I don't want to pay $20 a piece for something that's normally $2. So yeah, pin 1 here is inverted to pin 1 there, is how it goes. So yeah, and then this would just bite. I don't have a footprint on here, obviously, but it would just bite onto the board like that, and then you can sit there and program it. You'd still have that same problem of needing to line it up, but these are much larger pads than you have with that. That SOIC8 pad is really small, which makes it kind of tricky to line up. It's not terrible, though. I don't hate it. This is not something I dislike. This is something that I saw was kind of a good value for what you were getting, so I wanted to try it out and see if it actually worked any good. So I need to design a project that uses this, but this would be a project that needs something that needs to be programmed, and right now the microcontrollers that I like to use are all really hard to get, so it might be a little while until I do a project with this. So yeah, I am excited to try this out, and then just use like a regular kind of JTAG looking layout here. And so yeah, I think this is going to be something cool. I think this is a good value. The kit's really not that hard to assemble, and it seems durable enough for what it is. For something that you're going to put together yourself in a, take 15-20 minutes to assemble it maybe. And yeah, this is definitely a good value. I think the only thing I don't like about it is that this is inverted from that. I would like this pin to be that pin in my head. That's how I would like it. I don't like that it's inverted, but you know, it's still it's a good deal, and I think it'll work. And it's just every pin's inverted. So this pin is that pin, this pin is that pin, and so this pin is that pin, and this pin is that pin. So it just goes like this. I guess you'd call that mirrored. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of obnoxious, but definitely it seems durable enough. Time will tell. We'll see how good this actually is. And this isn't sponsored. This is just something I was looking on DigiKey to see how much some of these JTAG kind of connectors cost, and saw this and was like, $7? Hell yeah, I'm gonna try this thing out. So that is exactly where this came from. I saw this and was like, $7 instead of $70. Let's try it out and see how it is. So first impression, I am impressed. So I'm gonna take the time and design a project here soon that uses it. I'll probably just do something for fun, something that I think is entertaining to use this for, instead of something that actually is gonna take some time to design. Okay, so yeah, I totally just misspoke and said that I found this thing on DigiKey. I actually found it on Mouser. The part number on this thing is the DFR0359. I don't know if that's in focus and you can read it, but yeah, DFR0359 if you want to buy one of these yourself. It's not sponsored. I'm not getting any money for it. Just wanted to share it. I thought it was pretty neat just because of the price of it compared to a similar professional kind of off-the-shelf tool that has that same 8-pin setup. So I thought it was something neat to try. Like I said, I don't really like the fact that it's mirrored, but it'll work. Well, I hope you guys liked the video. I know I got it out of frame a couple of times on here. I'm just a little out of practice. It's been like a month since I've made a video. But yeah, I enjoyed making this. I think I will definitely do some kits with this. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one.